up the volume, pump up the volume. You say
Redeemer full of culture, y'all.
check this out.
Here is a portrait of Frederick Ozanam by Linz. We spoke about Linz in our last episode on characters, but this is another style altogether. It shows Linz's excellent ability to work with realism with aerosol on the street. This one is more of a classic portraiture, though still done in a bit of a comic style. You can see this figure. It's depicted in a way that's typical of the mid-19th century, which is the period that Ozanam comes from. Ozanam was a French scholar and founder of the St. Vincent de Paul Society, which is the building that we're in here. It's the Ozanam Industries, which provides employment for people with disabilities. It pays tribute to the late Catholic saint. Ozanam spent his entire life devoted to helping people. His legacy is seen on the other side with the writing by Numbskull that says justice, dignity and respect. It's done in a style typical of Numbskull, who frequently uses blues and pinks and builds up his work like blocks with typography as well as design elements. And it looks great, filling an entire facade from top to bottom and end to end. You'll even notice in the window the writing Ozanam by Numbskull being printed on a banner. Another thing to notice is the St. Vincent de Paul logo here, telling us what kind of work happens inside, and also that it's a community project, which I think also reflects on the building, with so many of Sydney's graffiti and street art community being involved and all brought on board by FIBS.
All I can say is, wow, this is the biggest piece I have ever seen. It took almost 3 weeks to do. It's done by FIBS, and you can tell it's got the trademark of FIBS. We've got the big bird with the sneaky little smile. We've got the heart that's coming through, that's coming across like a logo. And you can just see the chrome and the use of the color, the way it shines. We have what is a fish into a bird. Is it a fish bird or is it transforming into a bird? We have these fin bits that are actually looking like they're joining together where the window is, but then we have this water motion coming through, which gives it this movement that it's actually coming out and it's being formed. This piece is really something to behold. You really have to take a look at it to get a scope of how big it is. It is huge. Talk to you about Bird Hat right here. And the reason I've chosen Bird Hat is because of how differently he uses the aerosol can. Most graffiti artists go for nice thick lines and layer it to get a nice sharpness. Bird Hat actually just lets it spit, and he does really fine lines. It looks like it's all sketched out and sort of rough. It has a real childlike quality. It's like a big monster playing with its toys, but it's actually real road, and there's street poles and seagulls and birds and all that, so it's a real environment. If you haven't been down to Stanmore, you really should come check this out. It's just off Bridge Road and Salisbury Road, and then there's Salisbury Lane. Salisbury Lane has a gallery of artists, so many different styles, so many different types. You really need to check it out.
And this was our last episode for 2013. We've had so much fun creating them all year for you. If you've missed any, you can go back and check them all out. We will be back in 2014 with some changes and a new Ghetto Gallery for you to see. But in the meantime, keep looking at our Facebook and Instagram, and we'll see you next year.